Continuing our series 2024 in retrospect, 2024 was a year of monumental global events with ripple effects that continue to shape Nigeria's bilateral and multilateral engagements. This next report examines how these events have impacted Africa's largest economy and its standing on the global stage. Moyo Thomas reports.
2024 earned the title the Year of Elections, with over 90 countries, nearly half of the world, holding national elections. Interestingly, a majority of these elections, particularly in democratic nations, saw incumbent parties losing support, signaling a global political shift. While Nigeria didn't hold a presidential election this year, it has become a pivotal period for President Bola Tinubu's administration, particularly in advancing foreign relations and fulfilling key international commitments. The government's 4D foreign policy focused on democracy, demography, development and diaspora has been at the heart of Nigeria's strategic engagement with the world. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister, Yusuf Maitamatuga, speaks about the progress of the policy.
You can see that Nigeria has asserted itself on the foreign policy front. Strategic autonomy is something that even other countries are now beginning to talk of, because as I keep saying, the 4Ds is predicated on a fulcrum of strategic autonomy. So we're making progress.
On the global stage, one of the most discussed events was the return of former U.S. President Donald Trump. Analysts predict his re-election could impact Nigeria's foreign aid, particularly in areas like health and climate initiatives, due to his American First policy. Despite potential challenges, Nigeria has actively diversified its diplomatic engagements. President Tinubu visited key nations, including the Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, France, and China, while hosting high-profile leaders like India's Prime Minister and Germany's President. These diplomatic efforts have begun to yield tangible economic benefits, particularly in attracting foreign investments.
Some of the investors that are already here on ground, like Indorama, are expanding their investments, in terms of petrochemicals, in terms of production of plastics and so forth. You saw the outcome of Mr. President's visit to Brazil, where the Batista brothers committed to an investment of over $2 billion. You saw the outcome of Mr. President's visit to several other countries. So wherever we go, there are commitments, and sometimes the investments happen immediately. Sometimes it takes time. So we just have to be patient. But these are things that are happening, and this administration is committed to reaching out and ensuring that the ambience that would attract investors is in place.
Nigeria's global reputation also remains strong, as President Tinubu did not attend the 79th United Nations General Assembly. Vice President Kashim Shettima represented Nigeria with full presidential protocol. One of Nigeria's key priorities at the General Assembly was advocating for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council.
Let's talk about how Nigeria fared on the foreign policy front in 2024. And joining us is Director General, Center for Credible Leadership and Citizens Awareness, Dr. Gabriel Nwambu. Thank you so much for joining us. How well would you say Nigeria fared in 2024 in achieving its 4D foreign policy of democracy, development, demography, and diaspora? Would you say we have truly been able to put Nigeria first in our foreign relations?
Thank you so much for having me. The foreign policy for which President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has embarked on, give or take, the impact has not been really felt, by the generality of Nigerians right now. Since this year, let's say from since the year that just ended, 2024, the 12-month calendar month of 2024, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu has traveled at least 14 times across the world. Yes, the position of President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is synonymous to that of a salesman. His position is actually to go around the world, try to sell the country called Nigeria, to market the country called Nigeria, to possible investors and to the international community. And the reasons, giving reasons for which people should come and invest in Nigeria. That the president has done very well, and he has anchored it effectively. Now, whether it has yielded positively or not is another story. But however, it is also pertinent to note that these countries will also profile Nigeria to be able to know whether what the president has said is in the same page with what is obtainable in the country. They must profile this country called Nigeria and be sure that they are making the right investments. Yeah.
All right, let's look at another issue in this regard. Just as it has done at other times, in 2024, Nigeria made a case for a permanent seat on the UN Security Council. How strategic do you think the nation has been in this advocacy, and are we likely to get a nod in the affirmative?
Yeah, thank you so much. If you look at the roles for which the Nigerian state has played, even in the ECOWAS, it is pertinent and it's imperative that Nigeria as a nation be recognized as a country that is fit, a country that should have a permanent seat, at the United Nations. Nigeria has been pivotal, when it comes to ensuring the big brother role in in Africa, as it were, especially as it affects ECOWAS. When it comes to peacekeeping, when it comes to ensuring that the role of a big brother, Nigeria has demonstrated capacity, Nigeria has demonstrated competence, and in all these engagements, the Nigerian troops have performed creditably well, whenever they are on peacekeeping across the world. So I think it is imperative Nigeria as a nation is given a nod, is given a pass mark to occupy that seat. It's long overdue, and Nigeria has all it takes to occupy that position.
All right. And in 2024, Donald Trump won re-election, and in 12 days, he will return to the White House. How do you see the change in government in the U.S. impact Nigeria in terms of aid, for instance, especially as the world braces up for a potential health emergency?
Yes, we are going to be the country generally, is already set for a possible shutdown again. I mean, all the relevant agencies in government are beginning to notify Nigeria. Nigeria is also beginning to take comprehensive steps in terms of foreign international passengers coming in from China and other flashpoint countries, just like we did during the COVID era. So I think that with Donald Trump's emergence as the president of the United States in a few days' time, Nigeria is going to be very proactive. Nigeria is going to take the bull by the horn, and we also encourage Nigerians not to go to where you are not needed. It's not that bad in Nigeria. Together, all of us can join hands to make Nigeria a better place to stay. It is not Japan.